So as you can see from the title of the video, this is basically just gonna be my final video on One Piece. It's basically gonna be my saving the 3 worst arcs of One Piece. Well, technically it's 2 terrible arcs and one that just had a terrible ending. And I'm gonna save it because let's be honest here, after this I really haven't seen much of One Piece except from some people complaining about certain chapters. And basically from me recently, like glancing at like 2 chapters because people kept posting about stuff, so I actually went and checked it out, and it's still as ridiculous as when I last gave it up. And so this will be my last video. It's something that's been on the docket for like quite a few years now because I just never really got around to recording it. No, correction. I got around to recording a lot of it, but I just kept deleting because I wasn't satisfied with the quality of it. Mostly because of how I ramble on and on and on. So anyway, with that preamble out of the way, I'll just touch up a bit on the last 2 chapters which I saw, which was the Scapa Gaban chapters. Basically, Luffy fought against Gaban, and it was the most ridiculous thing ever because Gaban, who is only about Rayleigh's level, not even Roger's level, Rayleigh's level, and who hadn't fought in like 20 plus years as well, somehow being able to do so well and humiliate Luffy and actually having to get Zoro in and him going into Gear 5 to be able to handle is the most ridiculous thing I've seen since I saw Kaido get turned into a jump rope for Luffy to humiliate. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Luffy, who managed to humiliate, and I repeat, turned Kaido into a goddamn jump rope, should not under any fucking circumstances struggle against Gabant. It's fucking Gabant. He's like 70 plus year old, some goddamn nonsense. Luffy, who took down Kaido and Big Mom in the peaks of their lives, should under no circumstances struggle against Gabant. Like, goddamn man, do you know how ridiculous that is? That would be like if, say, Dracula Mihawk struggled against goddamn Clown Star Buggy. That is ridiculous on so many levels. And it's just as bad as when Luffy struggled against Gorosei. When Luffy struggled against Kizaru, they so easily humiliate and one-shot the both of them. It's like, goddamn man, come on. You one-shotted Kaido, the strongest creature in the entire goddamn universe. And what's even more ridiculous, to add on to that whole confusion, is the fact that, again, now it's been pointed out, rightfully so, that there are like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 other creatures even more powerful or as powerful as Kaido. Let me repeat, as powerful as goddamn 100 Beast Kaido on the side of the Marines. So how the hell did any of them even struggle once to take out the 4 Emperors? Remember, when Gup first presented the 4 Emperors, he talked about them being 4 individual kingdoms at war with one another and against the Marines. And here's the thing, they weren't at any circumstances at any point ever linked. They never joined up. Just the individual forces itself forced the Navy to have to turn to 7 other privateers to be able to combat the powers of an individual kingdom. And now you mean to tell me there are characters as powerful as the captains, the emperors. So then why did any point in time did the Marines ever feel the need or any sort of thing, any struggles whatsoever from taking out the pirates? And do not even say, oh, but some of them are from like the world nobles, so of course they won't help. No, that's a false equivalency because you know why? Here's why. Yes, they are from the Tendrio Beetle, the world nobles, but here's the problem. The Navy, okay, is their military arm. The Navy struggled against these emperors, these monsters who have their own kingdoms, not aligned with the world government, the Marines, and the world nobles, full goddamn control of the world. Imagine this. You are a superpower. You're not just any superpower, you're the greatest of the superpowers. And you have the ability to wipe out the other 4 superpowers, take their lands, their peoples, their resources, everything. And what do? You choose to do absolutely nothing and let your military arm struggle. What kind of nonsense is that? And that's the thing, because by that point, hell, even hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of chapters in, Oda had at no point thought of characters that were as powerful or even more so than the four emperors. But because One Piece kept dragging and dragging and dragging and dragging and dragging, well, now you have characters that are easily as powerful, if not more so, than the four emperors, especially after the way Luffy humiliated, and I repeat, humiliated the current four emperors with the defeat and the comical depths of both Kaido and Big Mom. It completely torpedoed the endgame for Oda, and he couldn't write his way out of a paper bag. Hence the reason why his entire thing has been really suffering. He's now on just a finish it, itis. And the problem is, he could have done this any time prior to this. He could have finished this a long time ago. I recently saw an Instagram post, okay, where the voice actress for Luffy said basically, oh, One Piece will most probably end in another like 7-8 years. Now, I don't know how true that is in the sense of whether if that actual quote was from the voice actress, but considering a lot of people were saying that yes, this is from the voice actress, I'm more or less inclined to believe that it's an interview from it. But even if it's not, okay, even if it's not, considering how long One Piece has been going, nearly reaching its like 40 years now, it makes sense that it would end in the next couple of years. But here's the thing, I could have ended this story like way before, because it wasn't even that hard. The problem is, Oda just kept on adding stuff that was absolutely useless and padding out the story with filler. Like, for example, Egghead. That was a chapter, that was an entire arc that did not need to exist. The end of Wano could have signified in the end of the One Piece arcs, basically. And then there was the retcon of Jesus Luffy. Yes, it was Jesus Luffy. He died for your sins, and then he was resurrected subsequently. And I do not know how nobody else has been talking about this, because literally they had Jesus Luffy. Okay, Oda literally created Luffy and retconned him into Jesus Luffy. He who dies for your sins, and then he's resurrected to bring you to the promised land. Like, what the fuck kind of story is that, where your entire thing prior to this had not had anything whatsoever to do with this? And it's just absolutely ridiculous, man. Redonkulous, man. And I just cannot take anything seriously. I know a lot of people still love it because they are fanboys of One Piece, and I can respect that. You like something you like even though it's garbage, but let's be honest here, when people rightfully point out how bad something is, at the very least have the decency to come out and say, yeah. But frankly speaking, One Piece fandom nowadays believe that Oda can literally do no wrong. Even when he literally wrote the worst thing ever. Like, for example, the Vegapunk speech. What did it add, actually? Just let you know that the sea is rising a little bit, and that's about it. Beyond that, what else did you actually learn? Nothing else. It literally was just him talking and talking and talking in circle just to try and drag and pad out more pages. I maintain, One Piece could have ended a long time ago. Like, for example, after Kaido's defeat of Luffy like at Onigashima, I stated it should have ended then. When the Emperors combined their mights, it should have ended the story right there. And I get a lot of flack for it. People saying, oh, you say you want them to go and trade. You must want One Piece to go on for another like 20, 30 years. And to that, I say, stupid. Because you could have used that as the kickoff point for the final arc. Because remember, Oda hyped us for what Onigashima Wano arc would be. The culmination, the absolute peak, the climax, the pinnacle of the second part of One Piece. And what did he give us? A boring dud. He could have gone the route of Marineford. He chose not to. He instead took the route of absolutely goddamn shit. And we got what we got. And that's just something I cannot stand, because here's, right now, One Piece is still going. And by the time it ends, it's gonna most probably be another like 10 years. If that. So it really is absolutely ridiculous to say you can't have Luffy and gang train. And so, in order to correct all of this, now that the preamble is over, let's get into the meat and potato. We'll start off with the first, Dressarosa. Here goes. So for Dressarosa, here's what I'm gonna lay out first. The ending was the part I had the problem with. It was not that Luffy outpunched Doflamingo. That was fine. Because prior to this, it showed that Gear 4, the over-reckless burning of Luffy's haki and his full abilities to the max, it allowed him to physically overpower Doflamingo, which is fine because Doflamingo is more of a balance type. Luffy is more of an attack type. So, having more power than Doflamingo in terms of pure physical brute strength, it's fine because again, Doflamingo's theme is the whole puppet master thing. Having him be like super duper physical is a bit, going against the theme. Not that he wasn't physical, he is, but I'm just saying, Luffy being more physically stronger is a much better whole dynamic between the two. And up until the point where Luffy, prior to Luffy burning out his haki, the whole thing was actually pretty good. Doflamingo knowing that he can't physically outpower Luffy, he uses his abilities to the max and outpowers Luffy there. And that was great. Now, what was not was how you reach the ending. When Doflamingo just all of a sudden lost all of his urgency after getting his ass pounded and found out that Luffy burnt out all his haki and can't do anything for 10 minutes, and he just walked around like he was goddamn on a journey to the supermarket to buy some milk. Slow. So slow. Not methodical. Not scary. Not like a slasher villain. More again, like you're going to the groceries to buy the goddamn milk. Where's the urgency? Where's the maniacal? Where's anything? All you got was Doflamingo slowly walking about, playing with Viola for a little bit. Then after that, getting his ass whooped by Luffy. What happened to this man? Okay, who survived New World for decades? Where's the edge? Where's the drive? Where's the anything? Especially after Luffy destroyed his empire. And that was stupid. So here's how I would fix it. After the fight goes exactly as I said, exactly as it played out in the manga. Luffy burns his haki. Okay, now is where the change begins. Have Doflamingo actually care and actually, angry, furious, this cold rage, and he's trying to get Luffy. He doesn't scream, he doesn't holler, he just kills everything in front of him. Anybody who dares try and stop him, he kills without mercy. But because of that, all the meat shields who threw themselves in front of him, he's burning up time. You burn a couple of minutes with them just literally throwing themselves at him. And he starts to induce a panic because he knows Luffy is physically stronger than him. And if he lets himself play around for a bit more, he also remembers there is Fujitora. There's a good chance Fujitora will come after him. That's a big no-no. Even if he's not afraid of Luffy, which he isn't, he should, and he is rightly afraid of an admiral. So, have him, not say panic, but have him start to ramp up his speed trying to catch Luffy. And that's where you have Law just burn more of his life trying to get Luffy out of that. Teleport. Doflamingo panics. And then you have maybe, Zoro jump in to be a meat shield for like a couple of minutes. Or if you're not, just have Law keep deflecting. Teleport. Burn as much time as possible. Then at the last, maybe like 2-3 minutes, that's where Viola steps in. She taunts Doflamingo and uses their closeness as the bait. Right? Because even though Doflamingo wants to kill Luffy and the likes, when she really gets into his head and taunts him and use their physical closeness as the bait, as the trigger, it just causes something in him to snap, and he forgets Luffy. He forgets about the whole thing, and he starts to torture and torment Viola. And just like in the current canon, Luffy revives, comes in, stops Doflamingo, defeats him, and you end Dressarosa right there. That will give you a much better, a much cleaner, and actually a much better villain. You don't make him another crocodile. You don't make him another Rob Litchi who just stands down there, talks about how they have no time to say what they're gonna do or do what they're gonna do, and then let Luffy lay down there and listen to like some 5, 6, 7 minute speech. And then he comes back to life and suddenly, whoa, he power up and beats the both of them. Like, what the fuck kind of thing is that? Terrible stuff. And so my version actually cleans up and makes things a lot more smart. And you actually don't kill the IQ of your goddamn villain. And so now that I've done Dressarosa, next stop, Whole Cake Island. Let's go, baby. So for Whole Cake Island though, I actually got more problems with it than I did prior to Dressarosa. Whole Cake Island was a lot of stupid. But the two main things I'll change is with Cracker and Katakuri. With Cracker first and foremost, Cracker will actually win his fight. He will not be portrayed as an idiot. who doesn't know the first thing about combat, even though he's been commander for a very long time. And even though he's the commander aboard Yonko's ship, which has been at Yonko for quite a while. In his fight against Luffy, he showed more rookie tendencies and rookie mistakes than anything else we've ever seen. And this is from a commander with like an 800 million berry bounty. That's like goddamn fucking stupid, man. So no, Cracker will not lose. However, we can also make it so that Luffy doesn't lose in the, traditional sense. It's that Cracker focuses all his effort on capturing Nami. After butchering the homies, catches Nami and uses Nami as the bargaining chip to force Luffy to submit. Then he knocks Luffy out, and that's that. I know Oda is so precious with his OC, Luffy. And so, I will give him this, and I will protect Luffy from a straight up loss. Just make it so that you see more of the cunning and the abilities and the capabilities of an Emperor's commander. And so, that's how I would end the fight with Cracker, and not Cracker getting his ass whooped because he's a fucking idiot. Again, making him as stupid as Crocodile, pre-gear, pre-time skip, even though he's a man who survived the New World, fought against Emperors, and somehow still alive. Yeah, no. As for Katakuri, there will not be any fight whatsoever, because he was stupid that Katakuri got caught in the first place. It's absolutely dumb, has absolutely no reason whatsoever to let Luffy drag him into the Mirror World. And all it does is set up stupidity. Just let him counter Luffy, but seeing the whole situation with Big Mom, he lets them go, quote unquote lets them go. Gives the command to Smoothie to make it seem like they are chasing after him. And after Big Mom's problem is solved by Pudding, then they will go full on to try and kill Luffy and gang. And then you can have the Fishmen jump in and do the same thing as they did, in the canon storyline, and pretend that it's their ship that gets destroyed, saves the Straw Hat, and, let the story end like that. This way, you don't insult the intelligence of your readers, neither do you kill off the IQs of your bad guys from your strongest factions. And then, you don't need to fucking keep coming up with newer, stronger, more powerful, more shiny fucking characters. That's fucking stupid. And so, I will move on to the worst offending arc of all time in any story, even more so than Bleach, which is basically plot armor on steroids. Onigashima and Wano arc, the stupidest arcs that ever existed, end up killing One Piece. We're now basically in the funeral, and so, enough with that. I will tell you how I will save Wano. Let's go, baby! So for Wano, it's actually very simple. I will give you two scenarios which I think would be the best way to save One Piece. The first is the most ideal, which is you do not drag in Big Mom to be humiliated as well. And if you still want to do the new era and the new leader thing, I will give you a better way of doing it. But if Oda still insists on dragging in Big Mom and must have her be at Onigashima, the simplest way would be this. One, when you have Kaido and Big Mom join forces, and when they got together and used their combined attack, have the supernovas be defeated right there and then. And then you transition this into a horror story. An escape from Onigashima. There, the 9 scabbards, however many you want to have been killed, and the rest of the samurais, the Yakuza bosses, all of that, have them die at Onigashima. Just as you did with something like Marineford, you have a lot of people die. Actually have, this time around, characters who have already completed their journey, basically the 9 scabbards, the Yakuza bosses, have all of them die alongside the samurais at Onigashima, trying to save Luffy, Hiyori, and his gang, okay? Trying to get them off. And then the ending shot you have is of Onigashima dropping on Wano itself. Also with the capture of Robin. I always want to point out to capture Robin because that's what Big Mom's goal was. As she knows about Robin's ability to be able to read the poneglyphs, it would be a very, very high stakes game. Something that you haven't seen since Luffy and gang got defeated by Kuma. Since they got defeated by Kizaru. That was like, over 10 years ago. You could do something fresh and new with this. And then from there, the next week's chapter, you do all your filler and all that stuff. And then a couple of weeks after that, you transition this a time skip of another year or maybe 2. By then, Big Mom have broken Robin and gotten the location of the ancient weapons. There, of course, you have the two of them basically push the other emperors and the marines to the breaking point. And that is where you reintroduce Luffy and the rest of the supernovas. And together they take down Kaido and kill him off definitively, with Big Mom being defeated and killed off by Shanks, thus ushering in the leader of the new generation, Shanks. And then from there, you transition off to the final arc. You don't have Egghead. You don't have whatever else stupidity there is. You just go to the final arc. Luffy lands on the land of giants, finds the One Piece, game over. You didn't even need to take 10 years. You could have ended this a lot earlier. Now, my more preferred one would be that it's just Kaido and Wano and Onigashima and his crew and him actually does something and not end up being used as fodder to humiliate so that they can use to prop up the Straw Hats and their allies of the weak. You have Kaido kill off a lot of people. The Scabbards, you decimate them down to maybe like 2 or 3. Denjiro, you keep them alive. Maybe, I don't know, Kiku. And everybody else is just dead. That's it. You could have Kienmo, but I just think much better to kill him off. What full circle his journey. But they die because they threw themselves at Kaido to open up points of opportunities of attack by Luffy and gang. And so, after much sacrifices and loss on both sides, with the Yakuza bosses dying, with pretty much most of the Scabbards dying, Izo did as well. But on Kaido's side, you have a lot of defeats and deaths as well. You end the story with a final shot of Big Mom being underfoot of Blackbeard, his crew having decimated and killed Big Mom and themselves decimated as well, but with Blackbeard stealing Big Mom's devil fruit and taking over her entire kingdom, thus shoring up his powers and setting up for the final arc, which is a transition towards the giant. See, there, done it. If you really must take down Kaido and you must take down Big Mom and you must usher in a new era, there are so many easier ways you could go about this, and you can actually in the same time build up Blackbeard. Or if you don't want that and you must have Big Mom there, you could do this in such a way that it gives a fresh new take on an arc of One Piece that has been the same for the last nearly 20 fucking years. You could do something new for once. And you don't even have to be that of a big of a departure from what you usually do. Oh, and before I forget, Hiyori and the Kurozumi were born to be burned fucking statement. Get rid of that. Fucking hell, man. The people of Wano were the worst things. Their persecutions and their dedicated drive to eradicating the Orochi family was the Kurozumi family was the only reason Orochi became evil. The only reason Kanjuro became evil. Just have them address that and stop that prejudice. If Oden was around and he saw all of this, he would be absolutely pissed that his entire message got lost in the translation and that he gave birth to monsters. Like, for real. And Oda saying, well, in the SBS, Hama is actually in Kurozumi. See, that means we didn't prosecute them because we protected Tama. Try telling everybody in the fucking capital her name is Kurozumi. See how fast they try and kill her. No, go try and do that. Show a scene where you tell the people of Wano, Kurozumi Tama, advocate her name. Don't have Hiyori and Gate protect her. Just tell them the name. Kurozumi Tama. And see how fast everybody descends on her and try and kill her. And try and fucking strip her and destroy her. Because the people of Wano are fucked in the head. And that's something that was never addressed. Instead, it was further boosted. Like, what the fuck, Oda? And get rid of that. That is the worst fucking message. And do not put it in an SBS because nobody reads those bullshit. Your last impression and last memory of the whole of Wano is basically Kurozumi who were persecuted and subjugated and tortured, who rose up and try and get justice, vengeance, are the bad guys, but when the quote-unquote good guys do it, no, that's good. That means they are the heroes. What the fuck kind of World War II justification is this, man? Go fuck yourself. But anyway, that's enough of this ramble. Time to go into the final conclusion. Let's go! So, we come to the conclusion of this entire video. Now, what can you take away from what I say? Basically, nothing will change. Absolutely nothing will change. There is no hope. One Piece is lost forever, and the people who like it will continue to like it because, you know, big flashy battle and something about paying off something that is like from past ago, even though, let's be honest here, it really hasn't been. It's all just been retcon and stuff like that, so yeah. I have no hope for One Piece, and frankly speaking, I really don't care about it. I should have been trying to get this video out for like a very long time now, and it just keeps getting stupider and stupider. And now though, however, I finally recorded something that I think is somewhat semi-decent, and I will try to get this out. But whatever. My journey with One Piece ends right here. And I'm practically fine with it. I'm perfectly fine, really. I just hope that I don't see any more One Piece stuff. Because again, I've been blocking and I just can't escape it. My eternal curse. Well, whatever. Anyway, thank you very much for listening and watching this video. I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you and bye-bye.